What up, everybody? It's your boy Young Fizz, aka mr.dopestatus on Instagram, and welcome back to another tutorial. So today we are back inside the machine, and today's gonna be like a beat breakdown slash mixing tutorial on how I get the sounds that I get inside the machine. So if you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on the bell notifications. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off by playing the track so you guys can catch a vibe here. Alright, so the first things first, I want to go ahead and show you guys here is the routing. So I have A1 through E1, and that's all routed to F1. Let me go ahead and show you guys this on the mixer screen. So as you can see right here, I have the A1 through E1, and you can see the outputs is all routed through F1, which is right here. It's going through the submix. And you might ask me, well, why am I doing this? This is because I can't automate the master, but I can automate a group channel. So by this being on a group, which is F1, which is my submix, I can do automation such as a filter effect or any other type of effect in that matter. Let me show you guys what I mean. So with this here, if I wanted to automate this, I'm able to automate it. So I'm gonna go ahead and break down the beat and show you guys some of my mixing techniques at this point. So let's go ahead and start with the melody here. I'm just gonna solo the A1, and then I'm also have this enabled as well so I can hear the audio. So the piano is very simple. It's just a loop. Let me go ahead and play everything with it off first so you can understand what's going on, and I'm gonna also turn off the master as well. We'll talk about that towards the end, but for now we're gonna focus on the piano. So as you notice, first I added something called an EQ, which basically just I'm using to brighten the sound. So I'm gonna go ahead and instantiate that in there. So with the EQ, all I'm really doing is just adding some high end. As you can see, I'm boosting in some of that high end and some of that mid range here. So again, this is before and after. Next thing I added was this RAUM here, and this plugin doesn't get enough credit. I don't see too many people talking about it. I don't know why, but this plugin is dope. And it was actually free from Native Instruments. They had a promotion going on at the time, and I was able to pick it up, and this thing is crazy. So basically what this thing does, it just adds a lot of space to the track. I'm using this preset here, and I just kind of adjusted some settings, and this is what I came up with. So you can really see how this RAUM just opens up the track, and it just sounds amazing. Last but not least, I added a compressor just to kind of tame the piano peaks here, and I'll let you go ahead and hear what that sounds like. All right, so just very subtle compression. The next thing I want to go ahead and talk about is the drums. So we're going to go ahead and solo the drums, and I'm going to focus in on the snare here. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in loop mode by pressing L on my keyboard. I'm just going to drag this over right here, and we're going to play the snare that just goes something like this here. So as you can see, or maybe you can't see, but I have actually two snares here. One's a regular snare and one's a delayed snare. So let me go ahead and play that for you. That's the regular snare and that's the delayed snare. Let me go to the mixer window real quick so you can take a closer look at what's going on here. So with the regular snare, I just have the plugins here. I have a R bass to kind of thicken up that low end a little bit. And then I have a metaverb, just giving it some space. And then I'm just gluing it together, taming some peaks with the compressor. And then same thing for the delay snare, but the only difference is I'm adding a replica, the XT version, and just kind of giving it that extra space, that width. And so it just kind of pans from the left to the right, as you can hear in the speakers here. I'll go ahead and play that for you again. If I was to take all these plugins off, listen to how it sounds. So it sounds much better with everything added in. All right, so the next thing here I want to focus on is the kick. And this kick is really just banging right now. Go ahead and play it from the verse right here so you can hear it. So just a simple kick, just boom, 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 boom. And one of the techniques I want to show you guys right now is this extra kick that I'm kind of putting underneath this other kick here. So I have this kick here, which has a compressor on it. And then this kick doesn't have a compressor, so it's just a dry kick. And that's the only difference between the kick 1 and then the kick number 2. Let me go ahead and show you guys what I'm talking about. So listen carefully. See how that kind of just thickens up the whole kick? And that's exactly what I was going for. So it's kind of like parallel compression, but in this case, I'm just using another sound slot inside the machine to achieve the effect. Another thing I like to do is use clips for transition sounds. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this right here for you. And then I also like to use clips for mutes. So you'll hear it right here actually on the drums. Now let's go ahead and talk about the bass that I'm using here. So I'm using Omnisphere for this bass. I'm gonna go ahead and go over to section A here and play it, the sub bass. And it's the same bass, but one is filtered and one is not. So in section A, I'm using this nice sounding bass. Let me go ahead and play it for you. In the hook, it's the same exact bass, but I'm just adding a filter for it. And you can see that right here. I have filtered sub, and it sounds like this here. Let me mute this tambourine here. So let's go ahead and play that transition again. So it's sounding really good, nice and thick, nice and creamy. Got the compressor on it, just really taming everything. It's sounding really good. So an extra drums that I added here, we're going to talk about the hook here. Just added a open hat, some hi-hats. Go ahead and unmute these here. Right here in the hook. Added some shakers for extra rhythm. And take note of the panning here. I'll go ahead and put it on the mixer screen so you can see the panning that I'm doing here. So on the regular hi-hat, I have it panned to the left, and then for the roll, I'm having it panned slightly to the right. And then same thing for the shaker and this shaker here. So it's just two different shakers, got them slightly panned just to kind of give it some more width. And that is pretty much the whole track. So when you put everything together, you have this right here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this beat breakdown / my tips and tricks. If you did, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on the bell notifications. Boy on Fizz, we will see you on the next video. We out.